it's I've spoken to you about it before, but and I explained it on stream rather well. But when you get too caught up in, like when you're streaming, you have to talk, you have to entertain to a degree, and when you get too caught up in that constant state of, I guess, pushing out energy, you develop a facade, right? And then that facade alienates you. So you become alienated from yourself. So that's how, like when you're, say you're hanging out with a group of friends. I don't know how often you've experienced this, but you're hanging out with a group of friends, you're being funny, telling jokes. And at a certain point, you kind of disassociate. You're just like, you kind of just get quiet. Has that ever happened to you?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't think I've experienced specifically that.
Yeah. Like, it hasn't happened a lot, but like, I remember times in the past where like I'd be around a bunch of people telling jokes, and at a certain point, you're so,
Are you in a game?
yeah.
I gotta leave the party and come back then. This is
All
crazy.
right.
I
Yeah. Well, I think what that is what you're seeking as a human is full expression, right? And when you're only playing into that one side of you, that comedic side of you, you're not fully expressing yourself. You're expressing that one side. But then there's that whole entire other side of you that's not expressed. So it's similar to the meme where the class clown, when he goes home and he's all sad and lonely,
right, right.
because humans have this full duality of emotion that we're trying to express. And so being aware of this, I'm aware of that. I understand that I have to. Ultimately, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to match who I am on the inside with who I project on the outside. So that means and I was gonna say what I was thinking. The reason this is actually extremely relevant is because you strike me as a person who actually, obviously, no one perfectly displays their inner self to the outward world. Only you're gonna know that. It's impossible for me to know who you are when you're alone, right? But regardless, you seem very steady and like, I can't explain. It's like you're solid. And one way that I'd say it is like you have grace with how you present yourself. And that's actually, I think that's something that's not a lot of people have, grace. And I think grace is how you balance expressing yourself. And I just wonder,
Appreciate that.
I I I wonder about people or streamers who haven't realized this, who do just literally destroy themselves, get lost in their persona. Like they like that clip of Tyler One takes off the headset, just puts his hands in his head. Just uttered and then like just utter defeat the moment it's off.
Yep.
I
Yep.
I don't want anything to do with that. I don't want anything to. I want to balance my, and it's not even just with streaming, obviously. In general, I want to. It's harder with streaming because streaming requires you to talk. So it's the more you talk, the more you talk, the stupider you're gonna look, right? The stupider you're gonna
Yeah.
sound.
I mean, yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's much more difficult to be a whole person as you're streaming, and that's my goal right now. I'm trying to learn how to be myself across all spectrums, like whether I'm with friends, a streaming, on Joe Rogan or some shit. You get what I mean, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
just trying to be who I am when I'm alone at all times, and who I am on the inside at all times, and try to express that to the world. And
Okay.
yeah, but I think what I need, the ultimate missing piece is grace. That's what I'm missing. Not missing, but that's what I need to work on.
Okay. I think I was gonna say you. No, I haven't been paying attention to this particular aspect of you. Not the one that you've been talking about, but just like I just remember like you were afraid. Not afraid, but like you used to be very reserved. Yeah, just in general. Like specifically when like an example of you being reserved is when people be like, "Hey, yo, can I play?" And like we have the people in our in this little circle that we have now. Why are we playing this game? um, well, you wouldn't be able to say no. You'd be like, I don't wanna, I don't wanna. It's like, bro, do it. You do
Yeah,
wanna.
back in the day, yeah. Now I'm, and it's interesting how these things have to be learned. Like, I don't know what it was back in the day. I was like, it was like I didn't want to tell them no. I genuinely didn't want to tell them no, but at the same time, I didn't want to play with them.
Yeah.
And it wasn't an insult to them. It was not that there was anything wrong with them. It was just that I I understood that streaming is something very specific, and not everybody is suited to do that at all times or even at any given moment.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, like, this is my space. I want to control the aura and the energy in this space. But
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I hear you. One thing, what was I saying? Ready up? Let's try one more time.
Nah,
All right, fine.
nah.
Fine. Damn, there was something I was saying. What was what was the last thing you remember me saying?
What were you saying? Oh,
Yeah.
you definitely had a complete thought. Oh, the last thing you're missing is grace.
Yeah. I don't remember what I was gonna say, but I do know that it's not something that everybody has. It's definitely something that oh, this is what I was gonna say. This isn't even applicable to all people. You know, most people can live their lives and not worry about like full expression or matching who they are on the inside with who they are on the outside. Like, you can get through your whole life. I went plenty of years. I went so many years without. I'm two totally different people, and obviously you're never gonna fully connect the two. But like for the average person who's just going to their job, watching movies, like, you don't have to do that. But for someone who is seeking full expression, that's something that you have to do, and that's something that I recently realized.
Dang, I had a thought. Something. Oh, okay. I think for me, like, I started. So the Bible talks a lot about love. Okay, love
Why
in
do you
all
always
aspects.
seem like hesitant to bring up the Bible? And not just you, religious people in general. They always seem hesitant. And I think that's weird. That's weird.
This is a stigma.
And yeah,
It's literally a stigma.
it's like when I bring up X, I feel hesitant to bring him up because I'm always bringing him up. I
Yeah,
get it. I
here's the
get
thing.
it.
Like I do had a lot because I could. There's not a single conversation that I couldn't talk about the Bible.
Yeah.
But me specifically, with the way the Bible talks about love, the inner like loving yourself has to come first.
Yeah.
Because the Bible says like love your wife as you would yourself, right? Love your neighbor, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So it's a lot of you giving to yourself first, so that you can then like give to others, and then then that cycle should repeat itself. Like that.
Yeah. I think I get what you're
Um,
saying.
but like loving myself, like I have always loved myself, but I didn't do it as much as I should have. Why can I see nades? Whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, me too. I don't know why either. Very weird.
Um, but like,
Like the most random ass thing I can see. Nades.
yeah. But moving out was part of it, and then
What, loving yourself?
living by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then living by myself, I was like, oh, like there's even more I can do. I'm not even fully cognizant of who I am in order to love myself.
Yeah.
But like that just allows me to like speak with it. Like I can speak with more confidence. Like I used to always tell people no. Now, boy, I can't wait. can't wait till somebody says something that I don't like. Be like, no, I'm not
Yeah,
about that.
dude, it's crazy. I do that all the time. I'm just like, someone says, I'm like, nah. What are you talking about? And it's so recently I've definitely, my perspective of myself has totally changed, but it's built on the foundation of ideas that I already had. So like the genius thing, I entirely believe myself to be a genius, and I have no trepidation about whether that makes me arrogant or not. It's the truth. It's my truth. It's how I am. And an individual who thinks he's intelligent is likely going to experience more intelligence than an individual who thinks he's stupid.
I mean, like, okay, so that could, and I'm not saying this applies to you at all, but that could turn into arrogance very fast.
Yeah.
Like, like flat earthers, bro. They literally think they are so smart, and here, I don't want to call them dumb, but literally they on the daily, every time they open their mouth, they're like, "Oh no, like Einstein was wrong. No, Newton was just wrong. No, every physicist that we currently have are
Yeah.
they're lying.
Yeah.
They're just wrong."
Yeah. No. Arrogant. See, I definitely do my best to avoid. Like I try to avoid certainty.
Yeah.
I don't act like I have all the answers. I'm very much like, one thing that I want to do that I learned recently is like, when I'm presenting information, I should tend to leave it as a question more often than not, as opposed to stating it as though, because sometimes you say something, but it's an incomplete thought, and so it would be better off if it was a question rather than like, "Hey, look at me, I know this." Well, it's like, rather than that, why don't you just say like, "Hey, isn't this interesting? Isn't this an interesting idea? Let's ponder this idea. Where does it lead us?" That kind of thing. Does it mean this? I don't know. Perhaps.